Today we're going to be doing another BattleTech book review, this time for the book Honor's Gauntlet by Bryan Young. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before. Welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. This is the Geek Cabal channel. My name is Bobby. There are two other gentlemen who are with me off and on and who also contribute behind the scenes, Brad and Chad. Our schedules haven't been lining up lately. That's why there have been a lot of videos of just me. We are trying to sort that out though. So today we're going to be talking about another BattleTech book, Honor's Gauntlet by Bryan Young. This book is entirely from the perspective of sorted Jade Falcon characters. There's a handful of non-Jade Falcons in the book, but almost everyone is a Jade Falcon character. All the point of view characters are Jade Falcon characters. And this is shortly before the Battle for Terra. And it's supposed to show you how a Jade Falcon commander attempts to follow the letter of the orders given by their Khan, Malvina Hazen, without giving in to the apparent insanity she's commanding. As a little bit of a description here for those of you who don't know a ton about the clans in BattleTech. They are very opposed to waste. So whenever they fight, they typically bid a certain amount of forces against an opponent's bid. And then they choose a battle site that's away from any kind of infrastructure, anything that could be damaged that's important. They don't fight next to the thing that they're trying to capture typically. So they don't risk it being damaged in the process. And the fights can be in battle mechs. They've also, in assorted novels, there have been like a coin toss. There's been an American football game, hand-to-hand combat, unarmed or armed. It just depends. One person issues the challenge, the other defines the terms of the challenge as far as the mode of combat. And so Malvina Hazen, however, who's the Khan of Clan Jade Falcon through a big chunk of the Dark Age era, she believes in things like terror tactics, and if civilians turn against them, to just take them all out. Warriors who disappoint her, she challenges them and kills them in combat. She's very adept at combat. She doesn't lose. And that's also how she became the Khan. She challenged the Khan for leadership and won. Beat her out in space, actually. I think she won by shattering the faceplate of the other's mask, because one of Malvina's two arms is a cybernetic arm. So, it's metal. I was able to just bash through the faceplate. But, that's what happens. So, the guy in this book, who I'm going to have to look up his name here real quick. He's a star captain, and his name's Archer Pride. Now, anytime a clan warrior has a last name, that means that they have passed a blood trial. They were successful in fighting to be able to use the name of one of their genetic donors. So, like Malvina Hazen has the Hazen blood name. This guy has the Pride blood name. Malthus is one that shows up here in the book as well, related to Nikolai Malthus from the cartoon, for those of you who've seen that. At least the bloodline, probably not him in particular. So, anyway, that means that they're a respectable and competent warrior, that they actually won the blood trial. But not being a blood-named warrior doesn't actually stop you from succeeding and becoming a higher rank or anything. It just means that you didn't win the trial. I think one of the Khans of Clan Wolf was actually a freeborn and not a trueborn. Trueborns are the clan genetic manipulated people, born from the iron wombs. Freeborns are people born naturally. So, anyway, the main gentleman, he's a Jade Falcon warrior. He's not averse to violence, but he believes that one, it has to serve a purpose, and two, it shouldn't be wasteful. So before I go into spoilers, just want to say the book's fairly well written. I don't recall having read another book by this gentleman before, but I would read others written by him if he does more, or if I just haven't come across them. It's fairly short, and I think all the characters were well written. The main character has an interesting quirk where he's a big fan of Spanish. Kind of a reminder that the characters in these books don't all speak English. The clans, their official language is American English, minus contractions. And then, the other realms have different official languages, like House Kirita, it's Japanese. House Lao, it's Mandarin. House Steiner, it's German. I believe it's English in House Merrick, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And it's either English or French in House Davian. So, in universe, these characters are probably speaking other languages. And so some of the others even call him out, like, oh, why would you bother learning the languages of the people we conquered? And he's like, well, one, it's interesting, and two, like, we need to be able to associate with them somehow. So, going into spoilers now. You get to see, like, the occupation from a clan perspective, and how the clans, they think that the people in the Inner Sphere are going to act like clan citizens. See, in the clans, if there's a clan world and Clan Jade Falcon takes over, well, the castes keep doing their thing, only now it's a Jade Falcon flag flying, and they switch uniforms or something. The Inner Sphere, they do that too, but it's a matter of, oh, now House Steiner rules us. Okay, so put up the Steiner flags. Okay, but really nothing changes. But the Inner Sphere everyday life versus the caste systems of the clans everyday life is not the same. And so they expect that the people of the Inner Sphere are just going to go along with it, and the people of the Inner Sphere are like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Like, they're just basically biding their time until someone comes and boots the Falcons off their worlds. And so the opening is he has to deal with people who've hired mercenaries. So first he goes and kills all the mercenaries. Then they capture a few, they execute them by decapitating them. And then the leadership of the rebellion is also executed. But they don't kill anyone else because he thinks that's a waste. They need whatever that planet produces. And you can't have that if you kill everyone on the planet. So then he goes back to the main planet that he's nominally under control of, or that he nominally controls. And you see him speaking with the planetary governor, and he's sympathetic to the governor's position because the governor's trying to make it so that there is no need for reprisal. But at the same time, he has to keep on the airs of, well, I'm a Jade Falcon. Like, just remember, like, I want this to work, but you step out of line, I'll kill you. And anyone associated with you. But I'll stop there because I'm not a monster. That kind of thinking. Because the other members of Clan Jade Falcon are quickly becoming monsters. Because if Malvina has her way, when our population uprises, they just destroy the city. And everyone in it. But that's incredibly wasteful. So, although by her logic, the idea is you do that once and you don't have the other uprisings because the people learn their lesson. So, is it wasteful? Not advocating for that one way or the other. It's monstrous thinking, no matter how you look at it. But there is a method to it. She's not bark at the moon insane. She's more like human life has no meaning insane. So anyway, the character largely succeeds in their goals, and the final few pages, they weren't told what the upcoming secret mission was. And the final passage is they jump into the system, and on their way in, they can finally see the planet, and You know, it's one of those like, oh, it's a planet I never thought I'd see in reality, you know, only in pictures. And now here it is in front of me, the pale blue orb, Terra. And so it's literally just as the Jade Falcons are jumping in to begin their part of the battle for Terra. So, like I said, overall, I enjoyed the book. Went through it pretty quickly. And, you know, like the author's depictions of everything. So, yeah, definitely would read other stuff by this guy, and be curious to know if the main guy here survived the battle for Terra, because a lot of Falcons did not, and if he's part of the group that's trying to rebuild. So, anyway, that's pretty much it on this one. So I'd like to thank you folks for watching. We always appreciate comments, likes, shares, subscribes, all that, but mainly the comments, so we know what you guys like, what you don't like. What you want to hear more about. And anyway, thanks again for watching. See you later.